my kiss. You feel it in my kiss because
Yes, and if you man in love with that someone, well, Lord, that someone is special, right? So, yes, the voice of Madonna. Crazy for you. That's how we do it on the Clean First Song with him 99.9 Vintage Wednesdays. And the time is now 15 minutes past the hour of 12 p.m. At this time, we have our many news coming to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited.
99.9, the heart and soul of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We FM is SVG.
Good afternoon and welcome to WeFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited.
Make home yours every day with Courts. Oh yeah. Ooh. Get value for your money. Courts have the best quality. Home is what you make it. Best prices and good credit. Courts have it all.
Courts. Make home yours.
Welcome back to WeFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited. First, on the local scene, Grade 5 students of the Turuama Primary School got the opportunity to learn the importance of using science on the farm. The Caribbean Agriculture Research and Development Institute, CADI's, local representative Danoa Jackson held a special session with the students. They were taught how to efficiently plant crops such as corn and cucumbers using mathematics and science. Speaking with VAPI, Jackson said the youth are the next generation of farmers and it is important to help them to foster a love for agriculture at an early age. He added that there are a number of professions available within the agricultural sector of which the youth can pursue in the future. The school's principal, Sherilyn Woods, said the activity created a fun way for students to apply what they learned in the classroom and thanked CADI for its continued partnership with the school. In a press conference held yesterday, October 14, 2025, the head of the diplomatic mission of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Francisco Perez Santana, reaffirmed the commitment of the Bolivarian government to the defense of national sovereignty, political threats, economic and military of the United States in the region. During his speech, he explained that since 2015, the U.S. government has maintained a systematic policy of sanctions and unilateral coercive measures that seek to suffocate the Venezuelan economy. These actions have caused damages of more than $640 billion and the freezing of more than $20 billion in assets abroad, affecting national development and the lives of the Venezuelan people. Perez Santana also denounced the militarization of the Caribbean by the United States, with the presence of warships, submarines, and troops in the vicinity of the Venezuelan territorial sea. He also pointed out that behind these aggressions are hidden geostrategic and economic interests over Venezuela's natural resources, which have historically been coveted by foreign powers. Also, he denounced the media war against his country based on unfounded accusations and disinformation campaigns that seek to justify interventions or sanctions. Still on the local scene, over 1,000 families have already received assistance through a government initiative aimed at providing appliances to families impacted by Hurricane Beryl. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said currently over 2,000 applications are being processed through the program. Prime Minister Gonsalves noted that the distribution of these appliances reaffirms the government's continued commitment to assist families across St. Vincent and the Grenadines as part of the National Recovery Program following the devastation caused by Hurricane Beryl. He noted that the government allocated $1.5 million in the 2025 budget to provide essential household appliances, including refrigerators, stoves, and washing machines to affected residents. Dr. Gonsalves further noted that the collective efforts of public officers, community leaders, and the private sector partners are ensuring transparency and efficiency in the distribution process. On to news in the region. On Tuesday, the U.S. struck another vessel off the coast of Venezuela, killing 6 people, President Donald Trump said. In a social media post, Trump said the vessel belonged to narco-terrorists and that it was trafficking narcotics. This is the 5th strike of its kind by the Trump administration on a boat accused of trafficking drugs on international waters since September. In total, 27 people have been reported killed, but the U.S. have not provided evidence or details about identities of the vessels or those who were on board. Some lawyers have accused the U.S. of breaching international law, and neighboring nations like Colombia and Venezuela have condemned the strikes. A driver in St. Lucia who was pulled over along the John Compton Highway back in July for contravening the driving code is heading to trial after challenging the charge in court. Hildreth Murray Lewis, on July 28, 2025, while driving a BMW X1, registration number P8871, was stopped by Officer 932 Lubin and issued a ticket for the alleged traffic offense, which carries a fine of $200. Lewis appeared before Magistrate Bertlin Reynolds in the Castries Traffic Court on Monday, October 13th, and signaled his intention to challenge the matter, maintaining that it was not called for. Magistrate Reynolds informed Lewis that should the officer be found in the right, he faces 2 possible consequences, including an increased fine and the requirement to pay it immediately or serve a custodial sentence. The case was adjourned to November 26, 2025 for trial. On the international scene, at least 16 people have died after a huge fire broke out at a garment factory in Bangladesh, with officials warning that the toll could increase. The fire service said 16 bodies have been recovered and would be handed over to families after DNA testing, as they have been burnt beyond recognition. On Tuesday, relatives gathered outside the 4-story factory in Dhaka's Mirpur area in search of their loved ones still missing. The blaze, which broke out at the factory around midday, was extinguished about 3 hours later, but an adjacent chemical warehouse continued to burn, authorities said. Police and military officers are still trying to locate the owners of the factory and warehouse, and an investigation into whether the warehouse was operating legally was launched. Finally, in sports, Tottenham Hotspur has announced that Fabio Paratici will return to his role of sporting director 2.5 years after he was banned by FIFA. Paratici, who had the position of joint sporting director with Johan Lang and oversee Spurs men's football strategy, including performance development, scouting, and recruitment. He resigned from the role in April 2023 after his appeal against a 30-month FIFA ban for financial irregularities was rejected by Italy's highest sports court. This has been WeFM's Midday News. I have been your presenter, Shanika Stapleton. Join us again at 3 o'clock for WeFM's 3 p.m. news. WeFM's Midday News came to you with the kind compliments of Courts St. Vincent Limited.
Just for you at Quartz Optical. Get 15% off when you bring in your prescription from any other eye care provider. We'll give you 15% off the cost of your frames and lenses. So visit us today and get 15% off. Offer valid on cash and credit purchases. Conditions apply. See in-store for details. Quartz